same green color. So there's one at the top, and we got two here, three underneath this tanker. Now this is the one that actually sprays. This other one, the white one, is a AWACS. And then here's an unused one that would have been the fourth, but it's not. Now here's the fourth one. So they have two spares. See, same color. And then the bottom here, south end of this maintenance hangar storage area, is another fuel outlet that's not used. So 5 go in, 4 come out, same color, and it has been cooled before being pumped. So you don't want the tanks inside these big tankers sitting there at 150 degrees. The plane would be unbearable and things would start to break down. So as the hoppers are unloading, they need to make sure none of that white billowing ash gets out and pollutes everything. So they've got these gigantic vacuum cleaner systems. And how do I know it's a vacuum cleaner? Because there's only one other possibility. It could have been a test shed for jet engine, and then this would be a muffler, and then here you have the exhaust blowing the exhaust gases up. Well, if it was jet exhaust, you'd have some soot here. There's none. What this is a muffler to deaden the sound and electrostatic precipitator. And then here is a steel pressure tank. It's not a flat top plastic tank for storing liquid or whatever. This is a pressure or vacuum tank for storing the powder that's collected by the electrostatic filtration system. Also, if they were doing jet engine maintenance in this shed here, you would have some big old air inlets. Instead, all we see is a little side door. Also, notice here they're doing maintenance on this one. They've got a high lift out and doors open and a bunch of construction stuff. Well, guess what? The other one, gotta go back. While they're doing maintenance on the top one, they've got the other one sitting there ready to use. So it's a redundant backup system. It's critical for the Chemtrail program, and it is absolutely identical. So, we don't see fuel tanks. Well, it's possible that could be a diesel JP4 tank, but if this was to test jet engines, number one, this is an Air Force base. You've got those horribly loud jets taking off all day and night. Who cares if you're running a jet engine somewhere a mile from anybody? So this is a vacuum system to manage the dust from the coal ash as it's dumped out of the train cars. Okay, now, as if this video wasn't long enough, let's go back and look at this white building, because this is where the liquid part of the chemtrail mix is being mixed, refined, distilled, whatever they're doing. It's absolutely gigantic building. This building to the south here, this is a repair depot. So when a plane flies and has a malfunction, the electronic box is pulled off of the airplane, the line replaceable unit, and then it's taken to a repair shop run by the manufacturer. And then they pull out the circuit card, which is a shop replaceable unit. They put it back in, they retest it, and then they send it back to the flight line as a repair. So this is a depot, and this is just regular civilian people working for hourly wage, whereas these two buildings up here are classified. This is high security up here. And you can see there's two walkways, and these don't go down to the ground. These are secured access areas. And just to show the oddity of this big building here, let me go to the side view. Okay, back in 2015, we got a pretty good view of the south, and these little tiny white dots, these are human doors, okay? And it's an absolutely huge building, and all access to the road and this parking lot are sealed off. So here's the west end of the big building. With a 2018 cartoon view, you can slant it and see the end of the building. All it has is these two teeny weeny loading docks here, and I don't know if they're going up or down. Looks like they're going down into the earth. I don't know. But how can a factory building this gigantic have two tiny loading docks like that? And then here's a car park there and another door. Um, but and I can tell you from looking at the Google map that this road going out to the street is sealed off, and so is the rail line. This is the street view of that road going out to the Oklahoma City public road. It's sealed off, hadn't been opened in years. So nothing's coming in that end of the building. You know, and also the roof is covered with these big smokestacks. And, you know, what I believe this is a remnant of the early chemtrail program where they were really spraying. They would make up a custom chemical, even some pharmaceuticals, and then spray them and see what happened. And you know, someone may say, well, it's storage for the depot repair, the repair depot. Well, you don't need all these giant smokestacks. And furthermore, you don't need an absolutely gigantic air handling system if this is just storage. Here on the north side of this plant, there is a bunch of air handling, powerful filtration equipment that goes underground. Again, these appear to be some kind of very powerful filtration system and really gigantic in size. And one, two, three, four, five, six separate systems. Back to the 2018 cartoon version. Here you can see here's the blower vents going into the building. Looks like about this middle floors somewhere. And the main clue here is that these are centrifugal blower pumps. And on the low pressure side you have a large diameter, and on the high pressure side you have small diameter. So it appears that this contaminated air is being sucked out of the building here and filtered through some immense filtering system and then being blown downward. And again, here we have one that we don't know where this is coming from, but it's filtered and then it goes through a blower system that then puts it underground. And this pipe is cut. Same one with this one. Here's a blower pipe and it's cut. So we see, and that was also there in the 2015 satellite view. So this big white building is not processing the coal ash anymore. In fact, after Dane Wigington and I blew the whistle on the chemtrails or coal ash issue, probably this whole building has been shut down. But unfortunately, they have just moved to a different type of aerially dispersed chemical, and it's by putting extra naphthalene in the fuel, you get phthalates in the exhaust, and certain fuel additives become hygroscopic, meaning that they will attract water and become a little water droplet floating behind the jet airplane. So it's my belief that the coal ash is not being sprayed anymore. They have moved on to a more covert system. So that shows the importance of disclosing all of this stuff, because once the classified program is revealed, they can't hide it anymore. You can't explain, where's all this coal ash going? Oh, well, we've got a cement mixing yard. See it? It's right there. I hope this video didn't get way too long. There's more to this issue, but I think the video is long enough. Oh, one last thing. I want to show some high-res video of the empty railroad tracks. So anyway, this is what the system looks like underneath the tracks. And I had some underground conveyor belt pictures, but they vanished. I don't know why. They would pick on those and leave everything else. So, you know, there's a guy who goes along, unscrews this 2-inch square tang, and it opens the chutes. And then they've got the vacuum running, so all this stuff is pulled down. They can fluidize this bed with compressed air, and then it falls down the center onto a conveyor belt where they may actually just pipe it from here with the compressed air. That's probably a lot more convenient and less dust. Okay, so September 15, 2015, I caught a Google Map image with it, no rail cars on there. So, this all looks pretty normal, especially if ever you see this light brown, that's the native Oklahoma dirt. So there's no coal ash there, no chute or anything. But if we look over to the left, look a couple more pictures here, we're not really seeing any loading chutes until we get to this one. Let's see one more. I mean, if there were loading chutes, number one, they would keep it covered with rail cars. Went too far. Okay. Yeah. So this is the loading ramp, I believe, the loading ports to feed the big white building. Here's one. It looks like it's a ramp for, and here's a second one. And see these longitudinal bars parallel with the tracks? Hey, that's to prevent a man from falling in there. And kind of looks like it's a gravel ramp for a pickup to drive over. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. So anyway, you'd have a conveyor belt or another fluidized bed delivery system underneath these ports, and they would go to. So you have another conveyor or delivery system, and they would go to right about this point here, and then they go straight down here to the corner of the big white building. And why do I think that? Because of this right here, you can't see it, but this is a concrete reinforcement so that the heavy trucks can drive over something without crushing the tunnel. So this is concrete reinforcement. It's kind of like the contractor didn't know how wide to make it, so they just made it extra wide. I've got a better picture here. Okay. So this is the concrete that I'm referring to. Unfortunately, it's not very clear once you blow it up, but it aims straight towards the corner. Okay, this is better. This video's gotten way too long, I apologize. So here is the unexplained concrete pads. It's not a road or anything. Here's another matching one. So there are probably two of these underground conveyor systems. And again, they're going to go into this mystery building where you have all kinds of smokestacks, and I don't believe that's an incinerator. I think that's electrostatic precipitator. And from the side view, we know it's really huge. So that's, in conclusion, let me show you what a covert chemtrail plant looks like from the street. Oops, one more thing. These are the connections between the public depot repair building and the classified processing building. And you notice it's a bridge, okay? These are both bridges, and in other views I can see underneath so the trucks can drive under there. That means this is not a storage facility. If this was storage, you'd want forklifts carrying 30 tons to be able to drive across this, and above all, you'd want the floor, the ground floor of this to carry those forklifts instead of having to go up an elevator so they can go across a bridge. Forget it. So this big building is not storage. They construct a super narrow, freaky little walkway like this for security purposes. You think you're going to sneak through there without getting seen? I don't think so. I bet it just freaks people out to even walk down that hallway right there to get to the black. Oh shit. Okay, I just noticed my My email address is showing in some of the corner of some of these Google Maps pictures, so I'm going to have to do a screen capture of just the center of this video, so I apologize. It's going to make it a little more a little more grainy and blurry. But this is what you see if you drive past this chemtrail plant. Oh, here's a psyop. Oh, a nice blue water tank. Oh, it makes you feel so good. Water, Air Force, we're all safe. And now there's your building. Look at that. You want to see what the chemtrail program looks like? And you know, you American taxpayers, you paid for this. You own that building. You own the technology. Did you give permission for these toxins to be sprayed all over you? You know, when you spray up at 20, 30,000 feet, that captures a certain percent, maybe 10, maybe 50% of the sunlight. That causes a hot air layer aloft. Okay, very, very simple. That's what meteorologists call a capping inversion that will prevent thunderstorms from forming. Because a thunderstorm only forms when you have a rising hot air bursting through going up to 20, 30, 40,000 feet. And that's when you have rain. So chemtrail spraying absolutely causes drought in warm nights and warm days, and it prevents cloud formation, which then leads to rain, of course. So chemtrailing is an absolute disaster. Hey, thank you very much for watching. If you found this interesting or useful, please contribute $1 on my Patreon, because if I can actually survive doing this, then I will do this full time. If not, I'm going to have to go and do something else. So you guys will have to do this research yourself. So I don't mean to twist your arm or anything, but hey, thank you very much for watching.